Hello and welcome. My name's Angela Davis and I'm the Forum Quilter. And I took a little fall last night. I'm fine, but I'm a little sore. So that's why I'm stretched out on the bed so I can have my legs laid out so they're comfortable. I didn't get hurt. I don't think I sprained anything. I'm just generally all over sore. So let me show you what I'm doing. Last couple days I've been taking men's shirts that I've been collecting over the past 2 years and I've been cutting them up. And what I do is I don't use a seam ripper. That would take way too long. And I just use scissors. So what I do is I start at the arm seam right here and I just cut the arm off. So there's the arm, and now I cut off the cuff like that. Like that. Oh, this had a double cuff. Look at that. Okay, and then from there, I try to cut right where the seam is. And sometimes if you do that, you can just tear it, hopefully, tear it right along that seam. There's one sleeve. And this is blue with just a little bit, I don't know if you can see that. It's got a little tiny thread of red in there. Little tiny. Oh, I have another pillow that I need to prop up. There we go. That's better. Okay. From there, after I get the sleeves off, then I start taking apart the other stuff. And I've been collecting shirts for, I don't know, 2 years now. It used to be the one thrift store I used to go to, I think it was Goodwill. If you went on Sunday, whatever color was on sale that week, on Sunday they marked all that color down to like 50 cents. So I could get like a men's shirt for 50 cents. They don't do that anymore. That was a couple years ago. But I have quite a few shirts, and I was thinking about, wouldn't it be nice to do, start getting them ready. There you go. Can you see that red a little bit more? I think you can. Little thread of red in there. Okay, from there, I'm going to take the collar off. And I just, right below here, where that ridge is, where that collar starts, that's where I cut. I just cut straight across the back. So I thought, since I'm doing this, I think I will share it with you. And I'm not fussy. I'm not being fussy. Not being fussy at all. Okay, now I have the front and the back. So I'm cutting the seam where the front meets the back, or the front meets the shoulder. And then I'm gonna cut the seam to separate the front from the rest of it. And here is the front. Here's the pocket. I try to save the pockets if I can to put them in the quilt. They've been in the box a while, that's why they're so wrinkled. but I thought I might sit here and talk to you while I do this. It's actually quite relaxing. Last time I did this in bed, it was 2 or 3 nights ago. I think I ended up cutting like, I don't know, 8 shirts. I think I'm gonna do all blues, variations of blues, and then I have some reds. Not a lot of reds. I don't have a lot of reds, but I do have, I think, 2 reds of a men's shirt, and I have some scraps of a plaid that I think might work well with it that I already had in my stash. So there's the whole back. There's, you see that? See the back where the shoulder is? Maybe I'll just cut that placket off. That's called a placket. I think it's called a placket. The part that goes along the back here and around the neck. Okay. So here's the back. Okay. Now, when I look for, I haven't been buying men's shirts in a while because I knew I had a whole box in my basement that needed cut up. So I thought, I haven't been looking, but when I do look, when I was, ouch. See, I'm getting sore now from my fall. I don't think I really sprained anything, but I just feel like overall sore. Does that make sense? And I think I'm going to be really feeling it tomorrow and the next day. It's always, what, the second or third day after a fall when you really feel it. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, when I was actively looking for men's shirts, I tried to get always a long sleeve, tried to. Sometimes I'd buy a short sleeve only if I really liked the print. And if I got a tall, I'd luck out. It was a lot of extra fabric in a tall. I had sort of a normal day at work today, but then something happened that sort of put me in, upset me. Have you ever worked with somebody who, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost as though they get enjoyment out of pointing out somebody else's mistakes, even if it's just a little tiny little mistake. It's almost as though they get enjoyment out of it. And, you know, a mistake was made. I owned up to it. I corrected it. But this person had to make sure, instead of keeping it private and saying, oh, pulling me aside and saying, hey, oh, you know, Angela, I need you to correct this or look into this and figure out what happened, which I did. This person had to email everybody in the department. Why? Doesn't make sense. It's not the first time this person has done this. And I let it go because I'm not ruffling anybody's waters. You know, I go into work, I do my job. But boy, today, it just, I was having a hard time shaking it. And I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to continue cutting these shirts, so I could rip this fabric and get my frustration out. This one's sort of a checkered plaid. That one's a good one. Throw that over there. So, and it only takes one person to make things unpleasant, you know. I don't know. Here we go. Ooh, let that frustration out. Ooh. I've already made almost a dozen 9 patches out of the blue shirts that I cut up earlier this week. And I did them right in bed, like I'm doing here now in the evening. I just sat in bed and, cut them up. And honestly, what I did was I ironed the fabric, and I just folded it like this. I found a seam, and then I just cut 2.5-inch strips. That's it, 2.5-inch strips. I made it easy. I didn't, not doing anything complicated, because some of these cuts and some of these pieces, you're not getting width of fabric. You're getting, one end of this piece might be narrower than the other because it's a shirt. And so I thought I'm just going to do 2.5-inch strips and call it a day. And make some 9 patches. As a matter of fact, did I bring 9? Yes, I brought in a couple 9 patches to show you. And as a matter of fact, the white is a white that's left over from a sheet. And then I also had some remnants of some muslin. So I'm just using leftover stuff since I'm using men's shirts for this. Just doing all wonderful little 9 patches. See? That's a nice one. That one has a nice variegated dark blue, medium blue, dark blue, medium blue, and a light blue. And then here's the back. So yeah, so I'm just cutting, just, getting out my frustration. Rip that shirt apart. There we go. There's that. Okay. Let me set these scissors aside so I don't poke a hole in my bed quilt. Let me show you the 9 patches I made. Here's the first one. Now this blue has a little bit of pink in it. I don't know if you can see it. Got just a tiny, tiny bit of pink in there. This one's a nice check. That one's like a micro check. That one's a nice one. I really like that one. This one is a remnant of fabric. Like I threw in some remnants too. This is a polka dot. That's just a remnant of some fabric that I had. And I thought, heck, I'll throw that in there too. Use it up. I figured those polka dots will look nice. This one it's light blue with a wide dark stripe in it. Do you see it? That wide narrow dark stripe in there. Okay. And then I also have some red that I'm in the process of cutting into strips. They're in the other room, and I don't feel like getting up right now and showing you it. I'm feeling it now. Wanted to show you, how I cut up. Ouch! How I cut up the shirts, and I wanted to show you my daughter, Catherine. Our local library has different free events going on throughout the year. A lot of crafting. And I would say a few weeks ago, she signed up for an afternoon for like an hour and a half to make painted tiles, and she made, I think, 4 or 5 of them, and they were all quilt patterns. Look at this one. Look at that. Isn't that cool? It's tile, and has the backing, the soft cork backing, and she said I'm supposed to use it as a coaster. I'm not using that as a coaster. I don't want that to get all scratched up. I like it too much. Look how pretty that is. She made a couple of them. I have this one in the bedroom. The other ones are in different parts of the house. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was one of my viewers was asking my opinion on whether or not she should purchase a bobbin winder. Have you ever used a bobbin winder? I never have. And she said she was thinking about using one. And I explained to her that, I've never used one, so I can't talk from experience. But I can tell you this. Anything that you invest money in, whether it's a big investment or a small investment that saves you time and makes your work more efficient, then I think, in my opinion, is worth the money. Because our time is very valuable, Whether you're retired or not, like me, I'm not retired. I only have so much time in the day to work, to do my crafts. So any investment you make that saves you time so that you can spend, more time on your craft, then I think is worth it. Then I think it's worth the investment. So I wanted to share that with you. And I just wanted to get that out there and say, hey, have you ever used a bobbin winder? Leave something in the comments and let me know. Do you like it? Is it efficient? Does it work the way you expected? Is there a certain brand you like? Let us know. We'd like to hear from you. So this is my little small video on me cutting up shirts and relaxing my legs because of my fall I took. And I will see you again probably soon, because I plan on doing a little bit more elaborating on the 9 patches that I'm working on with these shirts, and giving you an update on that. So thanks so much for joining me on this little talk about cutting up men's shirts and making 9 patches. Thanks so much for joining me. My name's Angela Davis, and I'm the Forum Quilter. Bye. Oh, and remember, why sleep when you can sew?